truck time. Hey Southwind, it's Marcus, Truck Time with Marcus. Just wanted to touch base on the importance of greasing your trucks and why it's so important. Obviously, number one thing is it's going to keep us safe on the road. Greasing those kingpins, greasing the rest of the truck, just keeps everything in function, in working functional order, and basically just prolongs the life of the truck. One of the things that I feel like is the best thing we can touch on, obviously, is greasing kingpins. Man, it is so important because those repairs can be so expensive, and I know I've touched on it before on another video, but I just want to reiterate exactly how important it is to grease those kingpins, and you want to grease those at least every time you get the truck serviced. So if you grease it, or if you get your truck serviced every 5,000 miles, or every 7,500 miles if you're full synthetic, we absolutely need to grease those every single time. And if we're not making sure that's done, we're not making sure our business is being exceptional. One of the first things I want to point out is my grease gun. The grease gun I bought obviously is a little more expensive than your normal grease gun you can buy for probably 20 bucks at the store. This one was obviously a little more expensive, but I've got a lot more trucks than I feel like most of you guys that I need to grease. So this is the tip of the grease gun, obviously where the grease comes out. This is a very universal tip. One of the things I bought, just because it's beneficial for getting all the grease spots, and it makes it a little bit easier, is spending about 15 bucks and buying a 90-degree angle one that can fit right on top. That way you can do hard to reach places when greasing your trucks. And I know a lot of you know for greasing kingpins, this will definitely come into handy for that bottom grease zerk. Anyways, one of the things I do recommend you use when greasing your trucks, obviously gloves. You can use any type of glove, but this grease gets nice and tacky and kind of disgusting at times. So wearing gloves will definitely help you guys out, as well as a nice little dirt rag. As you can see, mine's fairly dirty. The other thing here, we're going to kind of touch over the grease points. Well, after we lift the cab safely and have secured it, and it's not going to fall on us, I want to point out the couple grease points that we need to look at here. Obviously, I've touched on it before in one of my other videos, but the kingpin is one of the most essential pieces of equipment on your truck that you need to keep greased. There's a grease point right here, and I'm going to get my hands dirty, and you can see it there. And then there's one below as well. It's a little harder to get to. You might have to buy a new fitting, for the your grease gun to be able to fit. Obviously, this is one that I've greased recently, and it's got some fresh blue grease right there. We want to grease these until we see grease start coming out of the sides here, and you can tell this one, if you can do a close-up here, on the inside here, there's blue grease and there's green grease. It's hard to tell with the picture that you're seeing there, but as of right now, it looks like there's black grease coming out of the sides, and that's good. You want to see grease come out, and then you can just pull it right on. Make sure she's greased. There's one spot right there. Grease points on the lift here. I'm not going to grease this one since I've greased it here recently. And looks like there's fresh grease coming out. But there's a grease point right here. There's one. This is a big spot that grease gets neglected, and it ends up breaking this spot here. So we want to make sure and get that greased. There's two spots that are right here and right here on this other side, as well as three spots below are here, here, and here. There's a big spot here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's going to be 7. This thing has pivots, so it technically takes grease. The other spot, you can come where I'm at, right here. It looks like it's missing a grease zerk, so I need to get one put in there. But if there's a hole right here, you can see, and that one needs to be done. When we had the bed lowered, you can see there's a grease point right here on the bed pivot, and another one right here on the other side of the bed pivot. So these are the grease points that we want to touch on when we grease our trucks. All right, guys, that completes the video. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You guys have all have my number. If not, you can definitely get it. My email address, I'm available on there as well. We also will be sending a video or a picture of the diagram that helps explain where all of these are. And like I said, again, if you guys have any questions, again, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Truck Time with Marcus.